hands together.
You got anything else over there, bud?
I say we just let him do it.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome.
Now we Jesus, sorry. You started singing the
Already
Oscar Mayer Wiener
recording.
song over there.
Welcome.
Welcome. Joseph, shut up.
Welcome. Okay, so welcome back to the Unhinged BookCast. This is a book podcast hosted by two book besties, and apparently tonight their husbands. I'm LJ.
I'm Jess. Whether this is your first time joining or you've been here from the start, we are happy and thankful you are joining us.
Whether we're deep diving into thoughts and theories or just riding the vibes, we love discussing our current reads with each other and now with all of you.
Tonight we are talking about the War of Lost Hearts series by Carissa Broadbent with the end of Book 1, Daughter of No Worlds, chapters 49 through the epilogue.
You can join our discussions chapter by chapter in our club on the Fable app without spoilers. We have one book club for the current podcast read and another for Book Besties Thursdays.
Book Besties Thursdays is more of a monthly book club where we read a book together and discuss it as a whole, just like a book club.
Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, Fable, and right here on YouTube for new episodes, updates, and fun book-related content.
And don't forget to share, it helps us grow and reach new friends. But before we get started, we need to give a quick content warning.
We are reading romantic fantasy books, which tend to include violence and open door romance.
Though our conversations tend to skirt these topics, we do frequently use naughty words that are not intended for little listening ears.
Okay, so before we get interrupted again by
He went
these
upstairs,
gentlemen.
so
Oh, he did? He got kicked
mine's
out?
gone.
He sings the Oscar Mayer Wiener song and then leaves?
Yep,
How rude.
I know.
All right. Well, so let's start with new characters.
Yes.
What do we have? We have Eslin, and I don't know. I listened to it and I backed it up and then I tried to hear it again and then I was like, you know what? Never mind. So Dina.
Really? Is it that how they were doing it?
I don't know, like the
Ariadnea? That's how I was saying it in my head. Ariadnea?
sure, but like she also has such an accent, just like the narrator in general has such
Oh,
an
uh-huh.
accent, and then like her Tasana like has an accent on top of it, and it's just like I don't know, it's weird to me. It's
What
just
kind of
weird,
accent does the narrator have? Like without trying to have an accent. Is it like British or
kind of.
hmm.
Um, but yeah, those are the two Cyrazine
Uh-huh.
that go to throw with them.
And she describes them as Esselyn is like slight with sharp features and golden skin, and she's more, or at least seems to be the more friendly of the two. And then Ariadnea, who is she's taller, broader, and fair in complexion and not quite as friendly.
Yeah. And it kind of seemed like at least Nura and to me, at least that like Nura and Max had some background with them, or also well, didn't they work with
Samrin for sure has
maybe
background.
that's
I
what I was
actually
thinking.
have
Yeah.
that in, I think I have that in history actually. I think it's like
Okay,
one of my
cool.
first notes in history. Yeah,
Okay.
they know him for sure.
Yeah, and like there's history there, but I couldn't remember if it was with
Hmm.
Max too or not. Okay. Cool. And then I have Ozine. Sure.
Hmm.
I couldn't remember if he was new or not, or if we'd heard his name,
Mm,
and but
we
he
heard his
does.
name last chapter chunk. We didn't
Okay.
meet him. Yeah.
Okay. So this is Esmara's son, which is like her ex slave owner dude,
Yeah.
the weird ex-boyfriend that you just can't shake, man.
Yeah. And he's like the heir now to the estate and all that, taking over in his father's, I was gonna say absence, but permanent absence.
Permanent absence.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I added this one in here. It's not actually a person, but we had this conversation last time. It's called a chrysalis. Chrysalis.
It is
Nope,
Chrysalis?
chrysalis.
Damn it.
It's like an S, and it was
I like
very
saying
confusing.
Chrysalis.
Chrysalis.
I
I
like
can't
saying
say it. I like chrysalis because I can say that one. But it is a magic suppressant.
I have more about that later too. But
Sweet.
yes,
But
we
yeah, I
figured
just want to make
figured out what
sure
that
we
was
added
about.
it
Hmm.
in there. So, location, 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 also known as man France. I have very little, but so once they end up in Thrall, um, like on the boat, right? They take the boat over to
Hmm.
Thrall, and then they like uses the they use the they uses. Wow, we are doing great tonight. They use the stratagrams or whatever to kind of like they have to like they can only hop so far or whatever, and it's like very strategic how they had to place them or whatever. Um, so while they're doing their hops, okay, they're hopping around
Hmm.
and they end up in Nizarene, which
Hmm.
is essentially like where she came from, like the town she used like grew up in, whatever, that
Yeah.
is now basically a slave camp. So
Yeah.
I got that. That's all I got.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
obviously they go do the other stuff. So that's all I got. Okay, so let's do history and stories from the past. What do you have?
All right. So we just kind of talked about this already a little bit. But first off, starting in chapter 50, so we learned that Samrin and Eslin, which is one of the Sirene, that's with them, they have some history. But we also learned through this little encounter that the Cyrezine are recruited from the military, and they apparently had, I don't know, Samrin and Eslin had like some mutual friend and other common interests. Um, and that's kind of how they knew each other, and then it makes it sound like they kind of were a thing there for a little bit.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but she also does say that it was like whatever their little fling was or thing that they had going on was like back when she had beautiful blue eyes. And then she continues to share that the Cyrezine can see as well as anyone else. Because if you remember, they don't have eyes. They just have
Yep,
scars where their eyes were.
yep.
Um, so they can see as well as anyone else, just different. They um I said talk here in my note, and I know that's not what I meant.
See?
Um, yeah, see, I don't know why talk ended up in there, but they basically like they see the layers of magic. So there's lots and lots of layers of magic. And
Mhm.
apparently Solari and Valtane only have like they can only use or see whatever two layers of magic, and the Sirezine can tap into deeper layers of it. And then with their eyes gone, they can actually feel it more strongly and like tap into more layers, and they have more strength. So that's why they don't have eyes. But we learn later that if they are cut off from magic, they're for real blind. They really can't see anything,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As we've seen at the
which
end of it.
really kind of sucks, yeah. But then they also share that there's many specific qualities to being selected as Cyrezine. But typically they are all Solary and all women, as for whatever reason, women are the most sensitive to the layers of magic.
Yep.
So,
Um, I just wanted to add something real quick there. So this
hmm.
totally made me think of a different series, like with the layers of magic type of thing.
Hmm.
It's not the same thing, but if you like the thought of that, I think people should read a Darker Shades of Magic series by V.E. Schwab because it totally
I
was
still
giving
haven't
me
read
that.
that one.
Yeah, it was totally giving me that kind of vibe, and it's just
Hmm,
3 books, and it's really good. But that was kind of the vibe I was getting off of it, and so I was like,
interesting.
I want a little bit more information on this. So
Hmm.
my thoughts
Okay,
and
I
theories
still
for
need to
later.
read that one. You've been telling me for like a
Yeah,
year at
Darker Shades of
least to
Magic.
read those.
I haven't read like it doesn't it's not part of the trilogy, but it kind of is. It's kind of like I guess like sometime in the future. It's called Fragile Threads of Power or whatever. I
Hmm.
haven't read that one yet, but Darker Shades of Magic, really good.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, my
You're
next
next.
note is 50 and Max only had Rocher for about 6 months.
Yes, I had that too. And then it was actually removed, and that was a question that we had. Was like, was it
Yeah.
removed or what, how come he
Was he
doesn't have
able to
any
get
more,
rid of it
whatever.
or what? Yeah.
Right. And so it was removed. Um, and at this point in chapter 50, all we know is that he said that it was worse than receiving it because it rips half your mind out with it. Later we find out a lot more details about that process for him, but here he says that it rips out half of your mind with it.
And then chapter 60, so like the paintings. So
Oh
Max
yeah.
just got like Rocher removed or whatever and like felt really empty and whatever. And he's like out, I think like he even said he was like out drunk or something.
Yeah.
And he's like walking around and he sees all these paintings and then some of them aren't even that good. And he's like, I can't paint, but I could make a garden. And so it's
Yeah.
like he does instead. And so that's why he has a garden. I'm like, okay, it's kind of okay, whatever. But I guess that like explains the garden part. I thought it was kind of dumb, but that's just me. Anyways, what do you have?
Okay, and then I'm jumping all the way to chapter 79.
Yeah.
So 19 chapters later. Um, so a little bit more on when they remove Riche from Max, so he says that it actually killed him for like a brief second. Um, but Riche like dug its claws into him and pulled him back, even though he didn't want to be pulled back. He was ready to go. He was done with all of it. And Riche was like, "Nope, you're not done." And then right before, like right as it pulled him back to life, the people trying to get it out of him were able to get it out, right? All kind of at that same moment. But right before it left him, it gave him a gift, which he says is a curse. And it's basically like this fire serpent thing, which is something that he can like turn into. It's almost like a remnant of its power or whatever. So he has like this second eyelid. This was a slightly confusing for me for a second, but Max has like this second eyelid kind of thing. And when he looks through, like uses this eyelid and like digs into this well of power that was given to him from Roche before it left him, he can turn into a fire serpent.
Okay.
So
It was, yeah.
it was interesting. I really don't know how I feel about it. It was like kind of, we can talk more about that later
Yeah,
because
I was
this is
about to say
just history.
we'll
We're
have to
just in
talk
history
more
here.
about it because
Yes.
that, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
then let's get into plot points, which are quick rapid fire bullet point notes that we think are important to the story or series as a whole.
Okay. So first off in chapter 49, so Roche and Tisana are having a conversation. And I actually can't remember if they're just having a conversation or is this after a battle. I think they're just having conversation because they're still on the boat on the way to throw.
Yeah, they're still on the boat, I think.
Yeah, I don't think
Or they're
anything's
getting on the
happened yet.
boat.
Yeah. Anyways, Roche like I don't know. It's just again, we're gonna need to talk about all this, I think, a little bit more later. But this Riche thing, magic, whatever, person, whatever, gets all touchy-feely and starts sharing all this stuff about their past and stuff.
Hmm.
Tells Tasana that they locked. It says, "Did you know that they locked me up for so many years? I had nothing, no one. I do not know how long, how many years. You would think it would be nothing for me, but even though I have lived so many lifetimes, I felt every second of it. They tried to give me many other bodies, many other homes, but I hated them. They felt like nests of broken steel." Along with lots of other thoughts. That was the biggest
Yeah.
main thought, but lots of like betrayal and hurt and issues that like Riche needs some serious therapy, apparently.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Yeah.
but it was just weird. Again, I think we'll talk I'm definitely going to talk more about this later, but I needed to put that in there because it's just yeah, not sure what I think about this Riche situation here. Anyways, though also during this situation or during this little encounter, this is the first time that Riche calls Tisana Daughter of No Worlds.
Which
Um,
is the book title.
yep, thought
And
it
we're
was
always
a
kind
book
of looking
title.
for the book title in the books and why.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, and then like we can kind of talk about this later, but now I'm like really curious about the how the series is called the War of Lost Hearts series.
I know. I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, so we can talk about that when we get there. But
Okay.
so chapter 50, so back with the Sirizen, they are
hmm
blind without magic and they can see through multiple layers of magic, which you put in history, but just a little recap there.
Yeah. And then 51. So Max and Nura are sparring on the ship deck one night after Max asks Nura why she allowed this to happen again, meaning Riche. Because she was there with him through it all and saw how bad it was and all this stuff. Yet she lets it happen again. Even like encourages it and wants it. And then she says, I wouldn't do it if it didn't need doing. Max asks if it's really all for, quote, some petulant 12-year-old's throne. And again, she answers with, I wouldn't do it if it didn't need doing. And then says that there's something big coming. And then that's like the end of the chapter.
Mhm.
So Nura knows, she knows some things. And
Yeah,
there's a much bigger plot going on here
at
in
the end of
secret.
it,
Oh yeah, at the end of it.
but it kind of like when you come back to it, it kind of shows that apparently she's on in on it too,
Yes,
which
she's
makes me
definitely.
very nervous.
hmm Yeah, I was very back and forth with her of like, okay, maybe I can trust her, maybe I can't trust her. I have no idea, but yeah, now I'm like, I don't know. Again, we'll need to talk about that later, I think.
Right?
Okay,
All
you're
right.
next.
So, and then a lot of my notes are just like I put them in this time as like these were the notes as I was reading, so you
Hmm.
can elaborate. But I went, so
Sure.
apparently Tess like rots flesh, ew,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
And that's
Also,
all I
yeah, ew,
put.
gross. No, I agree. It's different. I will say it's different. I read a lot of these kinds of books, and that might be the first time that's been like the power.
Oh, well, then you need to read more books.
Have you come
Yes.
across that one as like the normal one? I mean, in our
Yes.
last series, there was a little bit of that, but I was like the FMC, that's just a weird power for me, I think, for her to have.
You don't do
But
witches and stuff like that,
no, I don't. I don't read a lot of those kinds of books.
witches, paranormal, that kind of stuff. You don't do that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that makes
Hmm.
sense. Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, on that note though, so yeah, the shoulder wound that Tasana gives to Max, well, rather that Rashay gave him in the sparring whatever match before they get on the boat is yeah, straight up rot, just completely dead. Nothing left for
Yep.
Samron to even heal. So, all right, and then chapter 54, Tasana goes to like intentionally wake up Rashay because they're gonna be landing the next morning in Threllen. So she's trying to like wake it up and get it ready to fight and all this stuff. And Rashay is acting like fearful and almost skittish, and then makes a comment about how they have done so many bad things. We don't know who this they is, but they have
Hmm.
done so many bad things. And then Tasana also doesn't know who this they is, and it continues to act like scared, like almost like a nervous child during this interaction.
Hmm.
Very strange.
Very strange. Chapter 55. Like I said, through these strategically placed stratagograms,
Hmm.
whatever, those ones, they end up in Nizrine, which is where Tess came from, like I already said. Um, and they like how they're getting there is using the stratagograms that Zareth has
Hmm.
already put in these specific places. And it just kind of also makes me wonder, like, why was he in that specific place? When was he in that specific
Hmm.
place that he placed that he knew he would need to be able to get there?
Hmm.
So my
Yeah.
kind of thought was like, was this before or after she left there?
Yes, I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and then also, yeah, so then when they get to this place in Nizarene, um, Zareth mentions how the last time he was there, whenever that was, that place was abandoned. And now it's like bustling with activity, and it's it's like a slaver's like hubble, basically. They have
Oh, see, I thought it was a slave camp. I thought because they were
slave
trying to save
camp,
all the
yeah.
slaves from him. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and then yeah, there's slavers there, there's slaves there, and it's just like I don't know. I was having a hard time imagining it. Like a building, basically, like a very
Well,
large.
there's a couple different buildings. Well, they said like some
Is
of
there a
there's
couple
some of them
different?
were like rundown buildings,
Maybe.
that kind of stuff. And then I think like the end fight, he's in a building when she goes ape shit, which we'll
Yeah.
get to. But
Yeah. Okay.
um yeah. Which
Yeah.
okay, so chapter 56, I put finally we're getting interesting at 77% of this book. She loses her shit and lets Resh just go take the steering wheel. And I thought
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting. So that's all I
Mm-hmm.
had for that.
Yeah, I didn't have anything. I didn't really have anything else. I mean, they fight the slavers. They kill all of them. She goes
Yeah.
crazy. She
She goes
loses complete control of
like
herself. Rashay
blood
takes over.
butterflies, like
Yeah. Rot and blood butterflies and stuff. She does see a
she
slaver that used to, or not used to, but that
she's
like,
seen the slaver, the one that was saying that she wasn't like old enough to whore and like
yeah,
stuff
he
like
was one
that.
that was like one of the ones that took her. He's the only
Mm-hmm.
one there that she recognizes, but he still doesn't recognize her.
And that's what
Um,
like really throws her over the edge is that he doesn't
yes.
recognize her.
Yes. Hmm.
Which, okay, also, I don't have it in my notes, but it's kind of interesting to think about because of, okay, she's really like, that is like kind of what like really sets her off is
Hmm.
that he doesn't recognize her.
Or
And
sets
that,
Rashay off, I think, more
no,
so.
it sets her off to begin with
Hmm.
because that's what she wants. She just wants him to recognize who she is. And it
Right.
makes me curious because, like, what if her mom was like a queen or something like that?
Hmm.
More than just like she was the one little girl kind of thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So I do wonder if that's, I don't know. part of it, but who knows?
Yeah.
Um, moving on. So finally getting interested, right? And then chapter 62 rolls around, and I just had eye rolls, and I said there was plenty of tents. We didn't need to share one. This is not a one bed at the inn trope. There was plenty of tents, and even like Cameron like says something about it later. So
They wanted to share one though. See, that's the difference here.
I'm just saying there was other tents, and did you guys really get like full blown baths and stuff like that? Like she was covered in rotting
Okay,
flesh,
yeah,
so
no, I
that's gross
definitely
and disgusting.
definitely thought about that so many times. I think about that in every one of these books that we
Frequently,
read. I have a
you guys
very
don't
hard
even
time
have
with that
running
part.
water, but let's just
Yeah.
shack up after 18 days on a horse and five battles. That sounds disgusting.
Right.
That sounds like a UTI waiting to happen.
Oh my gosh, I know. I know. I think about
Okay,
that all the time.
so that's all I had. So there you go. You have it in book one, and it just is also incredibly slow and painful.
Okay. I
Anyway,
definitely disagree with that part, but we tend to disagree in this area.
yes, it was
I
just
enjoyed it. They might be losing their
painful.
lives the next day. Like, this might be the last. Yeah, I was
I
all
doubt
about
it,
it.
but
It was fine.
okay.
Well, yeah, we know that they
There was
didn't,
plenty of
but
attempts. It was
they
fine.
didn't know
Oh,
that.
but as somewhere like in this, they were able to save 150
Yeah.
slaves, I believe, other than
Yes.
one
The one.
one young man did
Yeah.
not make it. And like she's really upset about that.
hmm
Which I mean, obviously she should be, but
hmm
any hoozles. Why don't you move on?
All right. Chapter 65. So Zareth like bails the next day. He's like, yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna escort these refugees back to Ara. You guys are fine. Also, BT Dubs, I sent a letter to Azine, who you're going to see, letting him know you're coming. And he's really excited to see you and wants you to be a part of this like celebration ball thing. Red flags from the minute he started talking.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they're supposed to be going in there to save the slaves, at the very least save Cyril is the goal here, and more slaves if possible, and like topple this lord's house. And Zareth knows the plan, and yet he's like, "Yeah, I sent him a note letting him know you're coming. Have fun."
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Piece of shit."
And you're just having this party, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He kind of plays it off as like, "Yeah, I got you in," kind of thing, and it's like, dude, okay.
fucking
And he
sketchy
just
as
like,
shit.
he's like, "Yeah, I'm the only other one here besides Tisana who speaks Threllian or whatever." So I have to be the one that escorts these guys back to Ara. You'll be fine.
And it was just, I don't know, maybe I didn't notice any of the words that said like, oh, and then I was like very skeptical of this. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like anybody
No,
else was like, this is weird
no,
that
I
he's doing
agree.
this. And I was like, okay, that's stupid.
Until
They
like
should be more concerned about this until
afterwards. But
afterwards.
yeah, no,
Exactly.
I feel like everybody was like, "Okay, cool, we're in. We got an in." And the whole time I'm going, "You guys are idiots."
Hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So what I got there.
Okay. So mine was just like, it was a clusterfuck of chapters. So like 69, 70, 71-ish. Like I said, these were as I was like reading, and I was
hmm
like, fucking Zareth isn't there. The crew gets doused with chrysalis in the wine, right? And then I said, fucking shit goes down. What the fuck?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, because she has like this plan all of a sudden to she thinks like, okay,
Before.
we're into this party thing. This is good. We can do this without using magic. Like I've got a plan. We can make this happen. So this is chapter 70. And then she starts enacting her plan. And that's where they find out that the wine was drugged. So they get drugged with the chrysalis.
They don't know if the wine's drugged until like Max puts two and
Oh,
two
it's been a long,
together.
yeah, it's a while later. It's a while later. They all like just down their glasses of wine, which like if you've read these books, you just don't drink the
You
wine at the
don't drink
parties.
anything that anybody
Don't eat or
gives
drink
you.
anything.
Also, just like what? Okay, like if anybody is out there and is like, "Oh, it's fine." No, I'm scared for you going to bars and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Never take your eyes off of it. Watch where it comes from. Y'all are dumb.
Yeah, no. No. They should have asked for a canned beer or something.
There's
Cans are
right?
way safer.
And you don't take it unless the waitress like pops it for you
Oh,
at the table, you
yep.
dumbass. Okay, anyway.
Anyway, okay, total
So like a
bunny
whole
trail.
shit bunch of shit goes on.
So they get drugged, and so this is in
That's
chapter
all of them.
71, and then this is where we also find out what the chrysalis is and what it does. And so
Hmm.
I'm also still really disappointed that it's chrysalis and not chrysalis. I like saying
Chrysalix.
chrysalis, damn it.
It's such
All
a
right,
hard word to
it's
say
fine.
anyway, but it's fine. It's
Okay, what's next?
you had like 70 and 71,
Yeah, I
which
just did
was
those.
oh okay, whoops, my bad.
You're up, girl.
Okay, so then I have, like I said, these are my notes that I'm going through as it's happening, right? And I
Hmm.
put 74. Max is a fire serpent. Dot dot dot. Okay. Dot dot dot. And Tess and Resh have blue fire magic. Dot dot
Hmm.
dot. Okay. And then you had the next note.
Okay, okay.
I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, I definitely had a couple what the fuck moments here
There's a
too,
lot of
but
what the fuck moments coming up, and you'll find this
I
out. So
think
you go ahead and do yours.
yeah, let's finish plot points and then I feel like we have a ton of things to talk about, thoughts and theories. We have a lot
I
of
have
thoughts
a
here.
yes.
So, okay. All right, let's finish this out. So, chapter 76. Um, okay, so she loses control again, and then she's battling for control again against Roche. Um, and then she remembered what Kira told Max about like the caterpillar dissolving within its cocoon. And then how it basically like then she basically does just that. And then she's like on the outside of everything going on. Basically looking at everything going on from the outside. She sees Roche from the outside with like long golden hair, which she keeps getting this vision of a sort of female human lady with long golden hair.
Mhm.
And then she sees this long golden hair, almost human-like features, lots of white, almost like a cloudy, misty thing going on. Um, but then she also sees Riche's heart, which it's basically like in pieces. So pieces of each person that it's inhabited have basically made up Riche's heart. And then it tells her that the heart, it's not supposed to be like that, and to please take it. And then she lunges for her. So then, well, Riche lunges for Tasana, and then Tasana grabs Riche's heart and swallows it. And then she comes back to herself. So yeah, that's what I got.
So my notes on the same exact chapter was like, what the fuck is going on? Now we fist fighting naked with Roche in a field with light beams above us. There's a broken heart. Why the fuck are we eating things we find on the ground? Especially organs. Eating organs. Bitch, that's cannibalism.
Jeez.
That's what I put. I was
Okay.
so confused.
I wasn't that confused. I thought it was pretty
Like I
clear
was,
what
but I was like, where the
happened.
what the
But
fuck? It was like,
there
where
was
the fuck did this
definitely what
come
the
from?
fuck. No, you definitely what the fuck. But also, I didn't find it confusing. But I was like, this came out of left field, though. Again, we'll talk about this later. We got so much
I
to
don't,
talk
this
about.
wasn't even on the same damn field. Okay. We're playing baseball and we went all the way over to the hockey rink. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So then my next note is, oh, wait, you know
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
You talked about
yeah.
this earlier, but yeah.
Oh, well, we can talk about it again if you want to.
Okay. Sure. But
It's
Roche left
weird.
Max with a gift
Mm-hmm.
of the serpent, I guess, which is, and now he has more eyelids like a reptile.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, on to the next.
And then I had 79. Nura has news from home in Ara that she is alluding to being sus about Uncle Zareth leaving before the party started, like it was a setup, because
Uh-huh.
it was. So maybe she wasn't in on that part, but she was in on some other things.
Yeah,
So I'm
she was
wondering if
definitely
maybe
kind of
she's
pissed about that
like
part.
she bad. She's part of the bad team, but she's probably gonna come over to the good team because she's obviously getting
Yeah.
fucked over.
Uh-huh.
But not sure.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. And then so in 79, which 80 is our last chapter. So this is two
Yeah.
chapters from the end here. So 79, Riche says to Tisana, our story is not over, daughter of no world. So this is the second time that she gets called that by Riche. And
Yeah.
then chapter 80, I'm surprised you didn't say anything about this, but we have a thesis statement. like an actual legit thesis statement in chapter 80.
Oh, well, then you have to tell me what it is
Oh,
because I
okay.
missed
Well,
it
hold on.
apparently.
I will let me get it.
I mean, yes, I love a good thesis statement, but I must have missed this one.
It's like right at the end. It's like literally the last part of the entire freaking book, except for the epilogue.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, was it in the epilogue?
I guess you would call this a thesis statement. Okay. She says, "My name is Tasana. I'm a free woman and yet still a slave. I am fragments of many things, but a whole of only myself. I am a daughter of no worlds and all worlds, and I am not done yet."
I remember I was gonna go back and look that up because I was listening to it. Yeah, you're right. I was gonna put that in as a thesis statement.
Yeah.
Correct. But in the epilogue, Zareth also had a thesis statement that I feel like we
Oh
should
my
bring up,
God. Yeah,
and it
he does.
says, "By the time you read this, Queen Cessary will be dead." So,
Right?
there's that.
There's that. Yep. There's that.
They both get a thesis
The
statement. The
end.
good guy
The
and the
end.
bad guy.
Yeah.
The end. Anyway,
Yes.
I know you had like one or two other thoughts on the epilogue though.
Okay, yeah. So it's like the epilogue is from Zareth's point of view, but there's lots of scheming within it. And then there's a little like I don't know, this whole epilogue is a glimpse into like Zareth's head and his thoughts. But he's there with Queen Cessary and what the frick is that guy's name? Her like
Ta-
advisor guy.
Taryn
Is
talk
it Tairn? It's not
something like that.
Tairn, but it's something like that. Um, anyways, yeah, this advisor guy and Zareth, they're definitely in on some shit together, and they're manipulating the queen. Basically, the queen is saying like, "I'm not gonna fight. We need to
Yeah,
stop the fighting and
he's
stuff like
done with
that."
it. Yeah.
And Zareth and this other guy are trying to manipulate her into like, well, they're saying like, "Oh, that's fine, that's a good idea," but at the same time, they're manipulating her into
Yeah,
continuing the
because
fighting.
Zareth is going and like basically convincing her and I guess this Tyrion guy to go
Hmm.
around and kill all the lords and their
Yep.
sons and then put them in like order friendly hands more or less that the orders can care for these different lands and stuff like that.
Right.
So he's trying to be the king
Right.
basically
He's just super power hungry, like super duper duper power hungry.
because
I mean,
he's the
because we
arch
found out,
commandant.
Arch Commandant, yes, we found out throughout the book that he's killed all of his competition to
Yeah.
like for like the Arch Commandant position, and now he's basically as high as he can go within the order. So it sounds to me like he's reaching higher at
Mm-hmm.
this point. So yeah, he's a piece of shit, but we kind of knew that already. Um, but yeah, by the time you read this, Sasori will be dead. The end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The end. Or as my son would say, be end.
The
The
end.
end.
Right. Quotes and honorable mentions, even though we just kind of talked about the couple of quotes we had.
Yeah, we
But
kind of did. Yeah.
yep. Love
I
Island. And
got
who we're shipping
nothing.
it to.
Just on
Nothing.
Max, obviously.
Hopefully. I mean, could just be a
Hopefully.
one
What the?
nighter.
Did you read the same book that I
It
read,
could have just been a one
girlfriend?
nighter. We don't
It's
know.
not a freaking one-nighter.
You never
You've
know.
read enough of these books to know better.
Sometimes you think they're gonna be
You're
a one
messing
nighter
with
and
me.
then you end up with them like 15 years later, right? Okay, my husband just hold on, my cheeks have to come back to a normal color. Um, thoughts and theories. So I okay. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I feel like it's gonna be a very
Different?
actually I'm kind of thinking we're gonna be on the somewhat more of the same page than you think we are.
Then you go
And
first.
I think it's gonna be you and I more bantering back and forth than your theories and my theories. But I can start the conversation if you want me to.
You go for it.
I'm gonna scroll back up though through our notes here because I feel like there were so many things there. I was like, we'll talk about this later. We'll talk about this later. So where was the first thing? Um, okay, let's talk about the snake thing first. I have some theories. I have some theories. I have some thoughts. But let's do thought. I'm gonna do thoughts first.
Okay.
Okay, the snake thing. First of all, or the serpent, whatever, fire serpent. Okay, one, I did think it was cool, but two, I also was freaking confused and was like, okay, that came out of left field. Or the hockey
Yeah.
rink. I mean, wherever you want to,
It's over in the
wherever
hockey.
it came from.
Well, not the hockey rink. We like the boy aquarium. We don't know what that is. Just
Um,
kidding. I'm sorry.
I thought it was cool in one way, but it also felt somewhat poorly written. That it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, I can draw from this deep well of power. And I have this thing left over from Roche. But also then I was thinking back to our first chapter chunk and when they were going into the one dude's estate, the very first little like battle thing that Tisana and Max go on together with Samrin and Nura to go find that lord or whatever, and they're trying to
Oh,
save the
yeah, yeah,
people
yeah.
from the basement. Okay, but see, remember that she like goes into his mind and guides him, and she guides him as a snake, as like a fire snake, basically.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, that was like the whole thing. Like she was
I
in his
remember her
mind.
guiding him and stuff like that, but I guess I don't remember like,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's why that was actually more the reason why I was confused. I was confused that he was confused, or that she was confused that he had this power because I'm like, you've seen this already in the beginning of the book.
Oh, right, right, right. Okay, I
So
see
it's
what
like,
you're saying.
what? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It was cool though. I mean, I am cool with it. I like it. But he's not the MMC that I thought he was going to be. I am disappointed slightly, but I'm
Why?
accepting him. I'm
Now I want to
accepting
know
him. Well, because like I said, so I have been wanting to read this
for a long
series
time.
for a while. And I do love it. I'm gonna put that out there right now. I'm still loving it. Absolutely loving it. I've read better, but I do like it.
Okay, good.
Um, yes. But the hype I think that I was seeing of Maxentarius Farleone when I first kind of got into like all the book Instagram stuff and seeing the series hyped him up way more than he I think is as a character. But I've come to accept who he is. I do like him. He's just not my favorite FM or MMC.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Anyways, the blue fire thing that was kind of also out of the hockey rink, left
Mm-hmm.
field hockey rink. I don't hate it. I mean, we've read plenty and plenty of books where it's like a new power is unlocked or
Yeah.
whatever. And so it's fine. I'm fine with it. But it was kind of out of left field also because we think she's got this rot. Now all of a sudden there's blue fire too.
Yeah, there's nothing adding up to it. And then we have like bloody butterflies and like
Hmm.
I don't know, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah. Um, Riche. That's the biggest thing I want to talk about though, is how Riche, I really don't know how to feel about Riche. Because on one hand, it, she, he, whatever it is, acts like this traumatized, scared puppy dog that's like fueled by her emotions and then it feels her emotions, but then it's really angry. I'm just really confused
Hmm.
about where Riche is coming from and why. I don't know. I think the heart thing actually kind of made it less confusing for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That it's like, I still want to know the origins. And I think that we're going to get that in the next book. A little more of the
Because
origins.
if she doesn't have questions,
Oh, yeah. That we're going to figure out more about Riche and what's going on with it.
yeah.
But I think that this situation was different than like what with Max. He just kind of, from what we gather, or what I've gathered, he just kind of had Riche inside of him and amplified his power and controlled him. Um, but then with Tisana, she's able to like she like eats its heart, and it's telling Riche is telling her to take it. I don't want it, and she eats its heart, which is like pieces and fragments of all of these different hosts, is what I'm gathering that Riche has been in. That's
Mm.
the best I can come up with as far as that goes. Like it seems straightforward, but also
Yeah.
confusing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then Zareth obviously has way bigger plans. I think he's trying to make himself king somehow.
Yep. I'm in
Um,
the same boat.
yeah. And I'm still on the same train as far as like her being a princess, queen, whatever. She's got all this special power. She's gonna be able to, I think she's gonna be able to not just control Riche, but she's gonna figure out there's so many more things I think that are gonna happen in this next book with Roche and figuring out powers and all that stuff, and gonna end up fighting against Zareth, but I still don't think that he's the big bad. I think there's gonna be like a whole god thing, and I really hope there's not, but I think that's
Yeah.
what's gonna end up being. But tell me your thoughts, and then I will comment on your thoughts as you go if you're cool with that.
Yeah. All I had at first was all I can think of is the Steve Harvey like meme or whatever that says, I'm so damn confused. Because I am. I feel like not a lot of this makes sense. What I am interested in is this Caesarin or whatever.
Desiree?
Caesari. Yeah, sure, those. And how
Oh,
like they
the
see the
Cyrazine
light.
or the
Yeah,
Queen? The Cyrazine, the Cyrazine.
Searsine. Yeah, I
Okay,
was mixing them up
Cyrazine. Okay.
and or mixing them together probably. Um, and how they see like the layers of magic or whatever, and they said like
Mm-hmm.
women are more likely to have this. Like she's totally gonna have this.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be able to see all these layers of magic, and maybe that's part of it. She can see all the layers of magic, and so she can use them. That's why she could guide him and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then why she's probably going to be able to work so well with Roche and why she was able to go to the well of Roche's power or fight her naked in a field, whatever the fuck that was. And then I do like that element of it. That had
Mm-hmm.
me interested.
Mm-hmm.
Um I'm pretty sure I don't know, it's kind of setting up that it's going to be like Zareth's going to become king of Ara or whatever, and this war that they say is coming or whatever is basically her fighting for Thrall and him fighting for all of it
Mm-hmm.
from Ara. And it's gonna be Ara and Thrall against each other once again, which was basically how this started, if I'm correct, with the Voltaine and the
Solary.
there's so many S names in this, but
Or the yeah, 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 yeah. I'm tracking.
if it's gonna be something like that. And then we just have our team, and Nura's gonna come over to the good side because she's gonna be like, "That was bullshit. I almost died too, asshole."
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's all I really got.
And then the part with like Zareth and okay, so he like bails on them.
Hmm.
And then now all of a sudden, and this is the part where Nora's like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Because afterwards, they're like, yeah, the orders have taken over. Um, I can't remember the last name. Esmaris and Azine,
Yeah,
their estate.
Makatuki. I don't know. It started
Sure.
with an M,
Yeah, so it's they've taken over, and so now they have a little like foothold kind of thing.
just like they did with the Lords in Ara.
Yes. Yeah. And that was like
It's that the
Zareth's.
orders are looking over them or something like that and took the Lords out of power or whatever.
Yeah. Which also I kept just continually kept thinking back to at the very beginning of the book where it's introducing the orders and we're learning about the orders and stuff, how they're supposed to be neutral and non-combative and stuff like that. And it's like all they seem to be doing is fighting for power here and
Everything.
power
Yeah.
there and power here.
Or
Yeah.
taking people out of power, supposedly.
Yes. And we
Yeah.
still don't know, like we said in the beginning, like we still have very little history and background on the magic and was there magic before the
How
orders
did all this
and
really, really come? Well, we know, but like,
but there's so little like details about it
yes.
and how it all came to be and what's going on and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so I wonder. And I also wonder, yeah, our next book is called Children of the Fallen Gods. The titles have meaning. They have to. They almost always do in these books. I
Yeah.
mean, because we're reading the one we just finished is Daughter of No Worlds, and we've got her little thesis statement at the end where she says, I am daughter of no worlds and daughter of all worlds. That's what her sword is. All that stuff. So then we've got Children of the Fallen Gods. And I wonder if we're going to learn more. I think and I hope we're going to learn a lot more about the history of the magic.
More than likely, it's the messy middle.
Yes, it's a messy middle and it's big. It's a 600-page book, so.
Yeah.
And then the final book is Mother of Death and Dawn.
Hmm.
which is not that it's close to the orders of what the brother and sister, you know, one is basically midnight and the other is day, like night and day.
Hmm.
Um, it's close, except for death. I mean, death and dawn. I don't know. I don't know where I'm getting at with this. There's a lot more coming. There's a lot more coming. I am very excited to continue reading. I'm kind of getting the vibe from you. I'm not sure. Where are you at here? What are your thoughts on like, do you like it? Do you not like it? Are we interested enough to keep going?
Well, I mean, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 stars for the
Hmm.
story. And
Dang. Okay.
then the audio was bad. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
I almost
Um,
wonder if the audio is making it worse for you.
I told you I've tried like reading it too, and
Hmm.
I'm just not caring for it. Like I said, I feel like it's just too much jumbly, and it's also I really really dislike Tisana
Really.
and just how either you're not telling the reader thoughts that should be inside her head
Hmm.
because you want it to be a surprise type of thing. Like this whole like what does she know about like herself that she's not saying? You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
that'd be fine if she's not saying it to everybody else, but it's like it's barely implied, right? That
Hmm.
like things might be happening if you're picking up on a couple of things like we talked about like with her mom and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then I don't know, I don't like that when characters aren't written well, that they just seem dumb, but then they're like, oh, but I was a genius in the end.
Hmm.
No, you're still dumb. And it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. She just seems like dumb. I don't know.
Okay,
I
that's
don't
okay.
know.
I
I
mean,
really don't like her. I don't like him. I still think I dislike Luther Corbois even more,
oh wow.
but he's like down there. And it's just like, I think one of the only two characters that are like interesting. Okay, I'll give it 3 because I like the eyeballless lady people.
The
Those are cool.
Sirazine. Hmm.
Yes, and those are really interesting. And those are actually one of the reasons that I want to keep reading
Hmm.
because I know something's going to come out of that because they've
Yeah.
made it a big deal since like the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And then honestly, Zareth. Like there's something going on there and I want to
Hmm.
figure out like but see, okay, you know he's going to be like a bad guy or a bad guy even though he's not showing
Right.
it because the author is giving you reasons and you're not even in his head.
Hmm.
If she's going to be like this amazing cool, let's say princess or whatever, like
Hmm.
or like demigod or whatever, then we're not getting enough information that we should have, I feel like, but that's just me. So,
Okay.
and I think that's
So
why
yeah,
I don't like it.
yeah, okay. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
That's all.
See, I think that I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
The only couple of things that, made it not a 5 for me would just be the slightly confusing parts and the fact that we don't have as much history as I would like, um, to kind of set things up a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I I think she's not my favorite FMC, but she's up there with some of the better ones. She's better than some others that I've read.
Oh, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
like I said, Max, I'm slightly disappointed in his character, but also I've kind of come to just accept that his main goal is basically to protect her. And that's fine. That's fine. He's Golden Retriever. He's definitely not German Shepherd or anything like that. But he's he's fine. I mean, I don't hate him at all. He's just not maybe my favorite
Yeah.
MMC. But yeah, no, I like it. I like it. I'm excited
Good.
to learn more about the history and learn more about the magic, find out what's going on with Roche and Zareth. Definitely the epilogue was very
Yeah.
intriguing. Because a lot of times you get epilogues that are just like, okay, that was just dumb. We didn't really need that information kind of thing. But I did like this epilogue being from Zareth's POV and learning a little more there. So I'm excited. I'm
And it
excited
wasn't
to
from his, I
continue.
like that it wasn't from his POV necessarily.
Yeah,
It was what was going on with him, but not like you're not in his head like
no,
you
you're
are with
not in
the
his
main
head. Yeah,
characters. I
it's
think that's
hmm
makes it more fun. I don't know,
hmm
interesting. Like I said, kind of like giving you
more
the
on a
information about the
more
person
you're like
without giving you the information about the person.
yeah, you're more like a fly on the wall of the situation that's going on. Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
would make sense why you wouldn't know what all's going on if you're a fly on the wall.
hmm
But if you're in the person's head, you should know more of what's going on. So that's just
Yeah.
my thoughts, though.
I'm excited. I like it. I'm ready to keep going and find out more. I'm excited for the next book. It will probably be messy middle, but I'm excited to find out more
Yeah,
history. That's what I'm missing right now is history. And that would be the one reason that I didn't give it a 5 is the missing history that I want to know.
that's fair. And I will keep reading with you, but I definitely would not. I wouldn't even made it to the middle of it. I would have probably given up in the middle of it because I'm fine with DNFing books that aren't like suing my life. Unlike you. I'm like
Yeah, I have a
this.
hard
I
time.
do not like it. I'm out.
I have some lines that I will not cross that are the only reasons I will DNF a book, usually. But if I
Yeah.
make it through the first book of a series, I'll finish it.
I've decided I'm too old and I just don't care. If I don't like it, I'm tossing it.
Oh,
All right. Cry counter.
0.
0, 0, 0. Absolutely zero. Okay. Before I fall asleep, we hope you all have enjoyed this episode and reading and discussing with us. Next week, we'll be continuing the series with Book Two, Children of Fallen Gods, with chapters the prologue through 26.
If you can't wait until next week to continue talking about the War of Lost Hearts series, jump over to the Fable app and discuss with us spoiler-free chapter by chapter.
And as always, buddy reading any book with Book Besties is so much fun.
So make sure to share our podcast with your book besties, and if you don't have any book besties,
Then become one of ours. And until next week, fill those drinks with ice.
and your books with spice.
Bye.
Bye.